Good morning, everyone. This is Leah Dixon in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am coming in live this morning for what would normally be my regular Tuesday morning live, but due to family holiday stuff, I have bumped it up to Monday. My children are going to be with their dad for Christmas this year, so we're actually celebrating early. Today is our Christmas Eve, so kind of exciting. Luckily, the kids are all still sleeping because I think the energy level around here is going to be pretty high today. Um, but yeah, doing all of our last minute shopping for food and everything today. Good morning, Danielle. I know lots of you are going to be experiencing very quiet Christmases. We are a family of 7, so it's not so quiet around here. So I didn't think I'd get away with a live tomorrow morning. So today I'm actually coming on with a pretty useful kind of card. We're going to be making a thank you card because, of course, my kids aren't going to be able to attack and hug their grandparents this year to say thank you for Christmas gifts. So we are going to create some Snowman season massive thank you cards. Good morning, Catherine. Nice to see you. So I'm just going to switch my screen here, at least hopefully switch my screen, transition, there we go. I think that worked. And I'm going to bring in some materials here. There we go. So what I have is a pretty peacock card base, and I cut that at 4 1/4 by 11 and then scored it at 5 1/2. So that's going to create my card base. If you know me, you know I often actually create white card-based cards. However, right now, Whisper White is discontinued. You get it while you can. So if you want to order some, it's a limit of 2 for all of the Whisper White items that are still available. So I am using it very sparingly. I almost actually used vanilla on this card, but Snowman and vanilla just don't work. But I am using a lot of other colors that I wouldn't normally use. So I do have a liner for this card in Whisper White, cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then the front of our card is Pool Party, cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to actually take this piece of Pool Party, and I'm going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we are going to emboss it with some beautiful snowflakes. So I'll move that out of the way, move that in. So good morning, Ruth. So I've got my base plate. I got my very well used, needs to be replaced bottom cutting plate. And then I'm going to grab my snowflake embossing folder and put my piece in there and put that down. So this one's not a 3D or anything, it's just normal. So you just use your 2 cutting plates as your sandwich and just remove that layer number 2. So we don't need that extra shim in there. I'm just going to roll that through, and then we can move all of this out of the way again. So that gorgeous snowflake embossing folder. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. So it just creates such beautiful backgrounds. If you do not have a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, oh, good morning, Laura. Pretty soon is going to be the time to grab it. Celebration is going to be beginning on January 5th, and it is a fabulous time to sign up and get something like the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because for $135 you're going to be able to get $165 worth of product, which that Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is $163. And then to sweeten the deal for celebration, they're adding in 5 packs of designer series paper. And it's not the stuff that's in the catalog right now. It's the stuff that's going to be in our June to May catalog for next year. So you get this year's in colors plus the 4 family colors, the subtles, the regals, the brights, and the neutrals. And in the new design. So it's a pretty smoking deal. So yeah, if you do not have one of those machines yet, the possibilities when you can die cut and emboss are endless. So definitely something you might want to give me a shout about over the holidays, and yeah, ask me about that. All right, so I've just taken that embossed piece and I've glued it straight down to our card front, and I'm going to take our white layer and I'm going to glue that straight into the inside. Once I've done that, I can put away my glue, because the rest of our adhesives today, I want to stay away from using glue because we're going to be using silver foil. And I find that any kind of foil and liquid glue do not mix. If you accidentally get glue where you don't want it on the foil, you just end up smudging it. It looks tarnished and it's just not very nice. So I try to stay away from liquid glue with my foil. All right, so with that done, we're going to come on in here and do some stamping, and I'm actually using 2 stamp sets today. I am going to be using Snowman Season, which is an old favorite. Absolutely love this set. But it doesn't have a thank you in it, which is what I really, really need at this time of year. So I've pulled in my massive thanks, because of course these cards that I'm creating are from teenagers to their grandparents. And so just a generic thank you is not going to cut it. So I'm going to be actually making a few of these. The one I'm going to make for you today right now is going to say thank you on the front, but on the inside I'm going to add in, I usually just send a text, but this calls for a card. There's another one for my youngest. I'm going to put the thank you with the asterisk on the front, and then message on the cover may appear smaller than actual gratitude. I know what his grandparents are getting him, and it's definitely going to be true. Good morning, Janice. Nice to see so many people on this morning. I hope everybody who's on Christmas break is having a great Christmas break, and any of you watching from work, good for you for taking some time out. So yeah, this massive thanks is just the sweetest. I used it last week or the week before, I think, with the, this isn't just a thank you card, it's a hug with a fold in the middle. I got lots of great response to that. They're just kind of fun, fun little twists on saying thank you to someone. So that's what we're going to use today because, you know, teenagers, and yeah, enough said. Teenagers. So here we go. We'll see how easy it's going to be for me to even get them to write in these, but maybe this year missing their grandparents will be the kick in the butt they need. All right, so I'm going to stamp my snowman to the left. Kind of played with this one. I can't decide if I like it on the left or the right, but I don't know. We're going to go with left today. And so I just stamped him in Memento ink, Memento black, and then I'm going to grab my pretty peacock, which is, of course, also my card base. And I've got that thank you from the Massive Thanks stamp set. And I'm going to kind of just center that off to the side. There we go. And actually, while I have this ink out, I might as well stamp the inside of my card. So I've got that. I usually just send a text, but this calls for a card. And I'm going to stamp that right on the inside. There we go. So that's all done. Let that dry for a second. And now a little tip here that I actually learned this trick from Janice, so thank you so much, Janice, is I also stamped the sentiment onto a sticky note, and then I just cut it out and put the words inside, because sometimes I file cards away, or sometimes I'm selling my cards, and I forget what I've stamped on the inside, but of course I package mine all up so that they go into plastic sleeves, so it's not easy to just pop it open and see what's written inside. So this is something that Janice taught me and I've started doing, and just sticking the sticky note onto the envelope. So when I package up my cards and they're in their little plastic sleeve, I can see, oh look, I didn't leave it blank. There actually is something in there and what it says. I find that especially helpful because I find a lot of my birthday cards have sentiments inside them, and then I don't know what the actual sentiment is. And you know, if it's appropriate for the person I'm thinking of sending the card to. So all right, so now that we've got this, we got to jazz this up a little bit. So I am going to grab a bunch of blends. I have Light Pretty Peacock, and we're going to start there, just with a little bit of highlighting on his toque and his scarf. Just doing this, the thinner strips, just because this is such a dark color. I'm going to keep this to the thinner pieces. There we go. And I just use the fine tip because it is such a small space. Then I'm going to use my dark Pool Party. and color in the rest of his scarf and his toque. All right, there we go. Actually, I'm going to use the wider tip. Sorry, there we go. So that's going to just come in. So sometimes you'll find on your blends that the two tips, although they are the same color, one comes out a little bit darker than the other. I find that my thicker ends come out darker. And so I do want slightly darker, but I also want quicker coverage of this card. Good morning. I've got one awake. Yay. All right, now I've got my light flirty flamingo, and I'm just going to come in here, do the quick little cheek there. Oh, and that one just sprayed. Sometimes I find when I open these, if they've been out in the cold, which mine are kind of near a window, and it's cold today, they do spray a little bit of the alcohol. There's no color involved and it dries up, but all right, and there's some light pumpkin pie. So it's very, very subtle. And now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my light pool party. And guys, these are on low inventory right now. So if you're running low on your light pool party, which I find I use a lot of it, you're going to want to grab those pretty quickly because I don't know when they'll be coming back, just because it's the holidays and shipping and everything. All right, so I just outlined my snowman just to give him a little oomph. I know it's so nice to not have people opening and closing them. I mean, even myself, I'm careful with them, but, you know, too much handling, they do kind of lose their newness. All right, so now I'm going to come in here with my Wink Estella, which also is on the low inventory list. I do keep a little stockpile of these, but they are on the low inventory list. And I'm actually going to color in those snowflakes, and I'm going to color in the whole snowman. I don't normally do that. But for this particular card, I don't know, I felt like it was important that he was super sparkly. All right, so he's super sparkly, and then I'm going to give the snow around him a little sparkle too. All right, cool. So he's all done. We're almost done blinging this up, but a little bit more. I'm going to grab, now I thought these had sold out, you guys, but I think they got another shipment in. The adhesive back snowflakes are still available. They're 50% off, which means this package is only $4.13, which is a smoke and deal. You actually get 2 of these sheets. And as you can see, I'm almost out, so I'm going to be restocking. And I just love them because they're shiny and they're so easy to quickly attach to your card. Fabulous. All right, so those are still available. I thought they sold out right away, but they apparently didn't. Okay, so now I'm going to come in here, and I've got 2 little pieces of silver foil, and I'm going to use my Seal Plus. Now, the reason I'm using my Seal Plus isn't because I actually need a super strong adhesive, but because Seal Plus, when you use it, comes off in like little tiny strips. So here, I'll do a few and then see if I can get the camera angle to be able to show you how it's there we go. We can kind of see all the little lines in there. So it's in little strips itself on the roller. And so it makes it super easy for me to just get a little tiny bit of adhesive on there. And then I'm going to very carefully come over here and line this up top to bottom. Try and get it straight and equal distance at top and bottom before I kind of press it to hold it in place. There we go. All right, you could also use your grid paper to do this, but I just find eyeballing it is easy enough. And so yeah, just a few little squares of this adhesive onto here. Oops. Got an extra one onto my base. Let's try and peel that off. There we go. Peel that off so it doesn't make everything else stick. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So this is going to make it look like I've put a nice big piece of silver across the back of my card, when in fact I've just used 2 little 1/2-inch strips. So kind of a nice little cheat. All right, and then just squeeze that to really adhere it. With that done, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to make sure that those really stay in place by putting some dimensionals like overlapping the silver and the white base. And I'm going to do my 4 corners and 1 in the center and pop this onto the front of my card. So here we go. So yeah, the closeout sale is still happening. So we still have lots of items on sale, like with massively deep discounts. And some of those things are still available. So go online. You can go to leahdixon.stampinup.net and check it out. You can go into the sales section and see what's happening and see what's still available, because there is still a ton of good stuff. And then also, you know, while you're on my Facebook page right now, go up to the top, and if you're not getting my monthly newsletter, click the sign up for newsletter button at the top of my Facebook page, because I do send out a monthly newsletter telling you all about the sales. So you often find out about these things before they happen. And like in January, I'll be sending out a message about my upcoming classes, and there's going to be a ton with Celebration coming up. I'm really going to be offering a ton of classes and some fun incentives, and yeah, it's going to be really good. All right, so I just stamped the snowflakes from our snowman season using Pool Party on the inside, and I'm going to grab my envelope again. I have stamped 1 right here on the front, but I'm actually going to flip this over, grab, oops, that's not a scrap paper, I don't know what that was. I'm going to grab a little scrap paper here. In my case, it's my closeout sale papers. All right, and just putting that there to kind of protect the rest of my envelope, I'm going to stamp all over the flap of my envelope. And so I can twist and turn this so that it looks kind of more random. And you always want to kind of start at the center and work your way out. That way you don't end up with big empty spaces in the center. There we go. All right, so there we've got our envelope flap stamped and the front stamped. So that works out well. All right, so that is, I think that's our card finished. Let's take a look. So we've got our envelope with that there, and then our little snowman with our fun little adhesive embellishments and the silver foil kind of accent there. So that is one of my thank you cards ready for the kids for this Christmas. I'm sure going to miss the grandparents, but, you know, that's how it goes. All right, so let's just see if I can transition back over. Awesome. So thanks so much for joining me this morning for that card. I hope you like the layout. It's a great one. It's actually a sketch challenge that's happening right now on Freshly Made Sketches. And so I'm going to be posting that one. That sketch challenge is open until January 3rd, I believe. So if you liked this layout, go check out their sketch and see if you guys can create something of your own to submit. Just a fun way to spend some time during the holidays while we're all, you know, looking for more things to do. So yeah, I'm loving doing the sketch challenges and that kind of thing. So definitely sign up for my newsletter to find out about my upcoming classes. If you already are signed up for my birthday class or my nearly New Year's bingo, I'm so looking forward to seeing you guys. I've got almost all of those. Well, they're in the mail if you're getting it mailed, and I've got almost all of them hand delivered if I'm hand delivering to you. Ruth, I'll see you a little bit later this afternoon. Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas, Catherine. I hope you guys have a fabulous holiday, and I will probably pop back on live on Boxing Day. I'm hoping by then I'll have my paper pumpkins. I'm hoping I'll have them well before then, but that'll be the next time I kind of have time to come on and stamp with you guys. So everybody have a fabulous holiday, and I will hopefully talk to all of you before the new year. Okay, bye.